Okay, so as I said, let me first go briefly through the video that I recorded, which you're required to watch and then follow through, and then you're going to submit a similar output, the output of which is an efficient frontier. So I'd like to ask the class, who among you had already discussion of the efficient frontier in your previous Fin subject? I'm sure you have had. Chat, please. It wasn't discussed in my previous classes. From Econ, okay? Yung Fin. How about the others, class? Stephen, did you have the experience of constructing the efficient
Not yet
frontier?
constructing, sir. More on theoretical.
Okay. So
Just the
good.
concept.
Okay, here we will construct, no? So iba yung theoretical concept lang, iba yung tayo nagko-construct. So please follow the video. It's already loaded there sa YouTube naman yun. About the others, wala? Dalawa lang? Any recollection? So kung no recollection, so baka wala. No? Kasi it's so hard to not to remember yung efficient frontier. Kasi it will plot. Let me just, okay, draw tayo. Ang pa-plot siya ng mga, ng mga portfolio ng assets natin. No? Parang it will look like this. So different portfolios and different weights. And then the efficient frontier will look like this. Pag nag-allow tayo ng short sales and negative, no? Ganyan siya. So this line, okay, this one is the minimum variance portfolio, mean var portfolio to. Ito yung portfolio na, kasi you're plotting on the y-axis, this is your portfolio risk. And on the x-axis, this is your portfolio return. Okay, expected return on portfolio natin. So the efficient frontier is this line. Kung line na to. Okay, because what does that mean? Sorry for the drawing. It means that it doesn't make any sense to carry a portfolio that's outside the efficient frontier. Because, for example, if you have this portfolio, okay, you can find a portfolio above this. So ito yung portfolio natin dito, which has the same amount of, okay, wait, sigma, sorry. Apologies. This is your sigma, sorry. This is your portfolio risk, and this is your expected return. Okay, my bad, apologies. Okay, so what I was saying is that if this was your portfolio, okay, you will always find a portfolio on the efficient frontier, okay, that has a greater amount of greater returns and the same amount of risk, diba? Ito ring risk nila, no? Ito. Pero yung asset na nasa, sorry, medyo naging muddled yung drawing ko. So let me redraw the efficient frontier. So it looks like this, no? Yan. Ito yung efficient frontier, itong segment na to. Okay? So this is your portfolio that gives you the lowest risk and minimum variance yan. This naman is a portfolio that gives you your highest return dito. Highest return dito. Okay, so that's your efficient frontier and your task, your assignment nyo yan, and that's due on Tuesday then, bago mag 2:30. Okay? Ay, sorry. I made it pala 9 o'clock kasi pareho lang ng kabilang class. No? So, okay. And let me just show you end date. So just to illustrate the first part. So let's say you're going to download from January 1, 2016 until 12/31/2022. Okay. You learned how to do this using quant mode already in Excel, di ba? Wait. Let me erase this. Okay. All right. So, let me see my nag-chat. None. Okay. As Fin students, as EcoFin students, very important for us is the appreciation or understanding of MPT, modern portfolio theory, as theorized by Harry Markovich in 1952 pa to, no? But even if this was developed by him in 1952, it has become the bedrock of finance as far as portfolio theory is concerned. So as Fin students, dapat alam natin to. No? So yung concept ng efficient frontier, and not only the conceptual aspect, but also how to create it. So in that video, I gave instructions on how to create the efficient frontier. So I started with doing this. So for example, let me download the Microsoft stock prices. So since I'm going to include the date, I'll start the function here is equal to stock history. Okay, so my function has stock history sa Excel. Okay, so the stock is Microsoft, okay, comma, and then the start date is, by the way, let's give this names. This one, I'm going to give this start date and end date the names. Control F3. Okay, I already did that, but let me let me delete this. Delete, delete, so that I start anew. Okay, all right. So I highlight this to give this cell 1/1/2016 the name start date and 12/31 the name end date. Okay, I purposely placed a underscore here because Excel will not accept a name that has two words. Okay, if you do that, it will automatically put the underscore. So Control Shift F3. Okay, so Excel guesses that the names is on the left column. Okay, so I'll delete this top row, and the name is on the left column, which is correct. Okay, and if I go here, you notice now that this start date, the names that I have here are end date. If I click end date, it will go to this cell, and then if I go to start date, it will go to this cell. All right, some of you are my students in Fin mode, so you know this. Okay, so let me see. Here I can now use the stock history function there. The stock is Microsoft, comma, start date is, okay, I can type start date, end date, I'll type end. You can see here that the end appears, end date. All right, then I will not mind first the others, and then enter. Then you can see now that Excel, which has an interface with Yahoo Finance, okay, we were able to download. I hope some of you are following. So for example, if I do Meta or Apple, AAPL, and maybe NVIDIA. So I can do this also. Now I will not include the dates anymore. So I can use stock history and then the prices will be here. So I'm not putting it in another cell to input the dates because I don't need the dates anymore. So I put here stock history. Okay. My stock is Meta, comma. The start date is this one also. The advantage of using giving names to cells is that I do not need to fix this. I'm going to copy this to Apple and NVIDIA. So that's fine. All right. Now, I have to do something with this. Another comma, and it tells me daily ba, weekly, or monthly. So kung daily yung prices natin, ano? So either I type 0 or ignore it. Okay, because ignoring it means it's a 0. Okay, so that will be daily. No header. Okay, no header. And then these are the options: date, close, open, high, low, volume. Unfortunately, walang adjusted na option. I'll just choose one. Okay, that's one, which is the closing price. Okay, enter. And then it will now download the meta. And then I'll copy to the right. Yeah. And then if I, for example, if I also write Tesla here, I can now copy that formula also, and it will download the price. Yes, okay. Stephen, yes?
Sir, for me, it's returning an error po.
Okay, sandali
As in,
Yeah,
the
let's see.
number
Uh,
sign value
yeah.
exclamation.
Kindly share your screen, please.
Okay po.
Stop share ako.
Can you see it po?
Yeah, okay. All right. Pag ganyan, may see your formula. Okay, start date and date. B3. Okay. Ibig sabihin yan, you have to go to i-load mag-login ka sa Microsoft.
Okay.
Log in again. Sige, log in ka muna, Stephen, tapos tell me if it worked, no? Kasi
Okay, sir.
ganyan usually. Ibig sabihin baka hindi current version yung 365 mo, or maybe there are add-ins na hindi pa nakapasok. About the others class, please.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Stephen, please inform us if it worked. The others were you able to follow? Who was able to download also these stock prices? Show of hands, please, or kindly chat. Please, who among you were able to follow this? Hello, class. Feedback, please. Yes or no? At least tell me if yes or no, so that I will not be guessing. Chat yes if you were able to download the stock prices, or no if you were not able to do so. Okay, good. Some of you were able to do so. I'm getting 3 responses. How about the others, class? Okay, good. Thank you. I have 5 responses. Thank you so much. I hope the others are also able to follow along. Of course, we're not going to discuss this now because, as I said, you're required to watch the video, and then you're going to follow and create your own portfolio of 10 assets, and you have to uh, in the first worksheet write the assets that you that you downloaded, the names of the assets, their ticker symbols, and what industries they are from. So maybe just a table of the asset name, the ticker symbol, the industry they're from, and a brief write up about what that company does. Okay, and then the next part from the next worksheet will be the creation of an efficient frontier. And by the way, in the video, you're going to create you're going to create a random array of 10,000 numbers. I suggest you make it maybe better, make it 50,000, 20,000, or 50,000. Make it higher than 10,000. We just did it in class, 10,000 in the interest of time. But you can make it more than 10,000. Maybe 20,000 or 15,000, 50,000. Okay? All right. So that's your assignment for next Tuesday, due at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that's plenty of time. Kasi actually, kahit na after you watch the video, when you watch the video, class, go along na. The video is, I think, a bit long, 2 hours, pero marami kasing pause. Kasi I was doing it with the class. So some of them were having difficulties, like, so you will see there, yung iba hindi makapag-download kasi nga pareho nang nangyari, same thing as what happened with Stephen. So it was corrected, it was addressed by logging into Microsoft again. Okay, Stephen, were you able to address the issue?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Pero mag-log in ka, ha?
Yes, sir, I did po.
Go.
And up to date naman yung office ko.
Okay.
I'll
So,
refresh again.
sige, okay. All right. So in the meantime, class, let's start our lesson for today. So kindly open the portfolio optimization project that we did. Okay. And then let's open a new RMD file. Let's open a new R Markdown file. And then, okay, let's now, okay, let me, okay, i-load ko na muna si Pacman because we're going to load some packages. All right, so pload, let's see, tidyverse.
Excuse me, sir, you're not
Yes.
screen sharing po.
Ay, sorry. Thank you. Okay. All right. So as I said, kindly open a new RMD file. Use the project that we were using, our project, the portfolio optimization project, so that the files that you have created will still be there. Okay, and this file that you're creating will also be saved there, so that you have in this project of yours the different files. Okay. All right, so let's load tidyverse, and then we will need performance analytics. Analytics, of course, the very important quant mode. We also need portfolio analytics. Portfolio analytics. Analytics. We will also need F portfolio. F portfolio. Okay. So what else? I think that's about it first. If we need other packages, we'll load it as we go along. Okay, I will not spend time, class, looking at the documentation of these packages, in particular F portfolio and portfolio analytics. I'm not sure if we have discussed this in class, but I'll hold you responsible, class, to look at the documentation, try to see what it does, and take a look at some of the functions, at least be familiarized with the different functions of these packages. Because we're doing portfolio optimization. Actually, what you're going to see in Excel, we will be replicating in R. The only difference is that we'll be using different sets of assets, but you can, of course, you can make use of the same sets of assets when you practice to do so in R. Okay. All right. So let me run this now. Okay. So let's now download different sets of assets. Okay, so let's first create our tickers. Okay, and then let's see, let's get from some tech stocks, technology stocks, Apple, and maybe Microsoft. Okay, this morning we got some stocks from from the oil industry, Shell, and also Enbridge. These are tech stocks, tech, um, energy stocks. Okay, kindly you be the one, class. Look for stocks that are not performing well, so that we have in our portfolio stocks that are, let's say, we would like maybe they have negative returns, negative average returns. But can you suggest, please, go to Google and find worst performing stocks or stocks that are not performing well? Let's make it 10 stocks, class. Maybe let's include Nvidia is performing well, so let's include stocks that are performing well also. Tesla, I think, is also okay. Then let's add those that are not performing well. Okay, waiting for your suggestions, class. Let's have four more. So while you're
Sir,
searching,
Verizon po is one.
Verizon. Okay, anong
Stock code is V... wait.
Verizon V ano?
Dapat VZ po.
VZ.
But,
Okay,
yeah.
VZ. Di ba maganda yung performance ng Verizon?
They lost 1
Sige.
billion daw.
Okay, good, good. Sige. Maganda isali natin sa ano natin yan. Maybe let's include a finance stock. Ano ba? Ano bang bank? Citibank. Ano ba? CB ba ang Citibank? Can you check please, Citibank? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Two more. Two more. So, class reminder lang yung sa assignment nyo ha. 5 industries. So, you research no, kung ano yung mga industries that are represented. May mining, may manufacturing, may service. Maglagay tayo ng service. Uh, transportation, FedEx. Okay. Ano pa? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Citibank po,
8.
it's just C.
Silang Citibank.
CB is something else.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Silang. No? Si. Then sige, sama natin. Wala pa tayong food dito. No? Sige, McDonald's lang. Yan. Sige. Alright, 10 na yan, no? Sige, dagdagan pa natin. Gawin natin 12. 12 to 15. Any more suggestions, class? Let's add two more. Para 12. Class, sa retail, ano pa ba? Okay. Moderna, sige, pharma, no? Ano yung ticker symbol ni Moderna? Diyan. Or Pfizer. MMA, okay? Hindi ito yung mixed martial arts, ha? MMA. Then, one last class would be, we need the volunteer, one last stock.
Sir, it's
Yes.
mRNA po, not MMA.
mRNA. mRNA. Oh, okay. Ano to yung mapping ng, ano to di ba? mRNA. Okay, thank you, John. All right, one last, please. So while let's identify the start and let's make it this as a date. So as I said, let's do a 1/1/2016. although the trading in 2016 started in January 4. Anyway, let's just write 1/1/2016. Okay, we have now TGT. Ano yung TGT, Stephen?
Retail po.
Retail? Retail TGT. Ano siya? Anong pangalan ng company?
Target po.
Target. O nga pala. Target nga pala. No? O nga pala. Okay, sige. Thank you. And yeah, let's target. And okay, ask that date. And let's make it 12/31/2022. Okay, end na lang ng 2022. Huwag na natin isama ang 2023. All right? So we have now the objects, the vectors that we need. Yung tickers natin ng 12 stocks natin. When are we going to start? When are we going to end? Then run natin to. Okay. Wait. Okay. Oh, saan ako nagkamali? Ano to? Character string is not in a standard unambiguous format. Why? Character to date? Ask that date. Hmm? Ay, wait. Dapat yung year muna, no? Tama ba? Yeah, I think dapat yung year, month, date. Hindi, pwede, di ba? Were you able to run it, class?
So yung MMDDYY doesn't work po. But if it's DDMM, it works.
If it's DD,
DDMM po. But if MMDD, it doesn't work.
pag MMDD, it doesn't work.
Yes, sir.
Pero, hindi, why, year 2 eh. Wait sandali. Kasi kanina sa first class ko, oo, ang ginamit ko pala yung yung YMD, no? YMD. Yeah, I used YMD. Okay, sorry about that. YMD. YMD. Okay, I think this will run now. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, let me check first. Okay, ang dali Let me delete all of this kasi this is what we used a while ago sa kabilang section. And then let me run again. Refresh yan. And UTC na siya, tickers. All right. So we're good. Okay, so let's now download the Control Alt I. Okay, let's download now the those stock prices. Okay, let's create this object portfolio prices. Oops, portfolio prices. Okay, let's start with it being nothing. Okay, and then let's create this loop for, let's just call it tick or ticker or tick, whatever you want in tickers. Okay, so we create our portfolio prices. Portfolio prices. Okay, cbind portfolio prices. Okay, and then we use put it here, get symbols function. You can use get symbols .yahoo because you can actually use get symbols .wanda, get symbols .thread, so that we don't have to put there the source. But of course, we have discussed this in class that even if we don't identify the source as Yahoo, that's the default. Okay. All right. So it's the tick object. Okay. Let's put it here, and then from start, and then end. Okay, 2 is equal to end. Then let's identify the periodicity to be equal to daily. Daily periodicity, and also the auto.assign. Auto.assign is equal to false. False. And then we close this. We close the get symbols, and then we subset it. We only want the adjusted prices there. Okay, kindly check please. Unstable daw yung internet ko. Okay, let me double check our code. Tickers na identify na natin. This is for looping. For tick in tickers, portfolio prices, cbind ng portfolio prices, get symbols natin, Yahoo. We use the tick object here, and then it will loop dito sa tickers. From is equal to start, to is equal to end, periodicity daily, auto.assign is equal to false. We're okay. All right, so let me run this. Then we expect this to be able to download all the adjusted prices for the 12 stocks. Okay, let's just wait for it to download. And once we're done, class, kindly please chat the chat box. Oops, ano nangyari? Ano sabi? Ay, na-close ko yung error. As that date, as that date. Tama, UTC. Ay, yeah, UTC na to eh. Tama. All right. So, again, ay, but 4. Dapat adjusted ang gusto ko. Dapat 6. Sorry, class. Let's make it 6 adjusted price. Inagran na? Ayan, okay na. No? Okay. Let me replace this by adjusted close so that kasi mas magandang ginagamit yung adjusted close. Although I've read some literature where some analysts prefer the closing prices. Personally, I prefer the adjusted prices because it takes into consideration yung mga stock splits, mga dividends. So that's the reason why I prefer the adjusted prices. Okay, so let's check. All right, so Apple, Microsoft, there are 12 columns all in all. Its start date is January 4, 2016, and date is, ay, bakit 11 lang? 11? Why 11? Ano ba sinulat ko? Ay, sorry ah. Bakit 12:30? Ano lang? Okay. Sorry, let me run the end date. Uh, okay. Okay, please, guys, call my attention if I'm making some mistakes. Katulad nito, December 1 lang. No, we wanted December 31. Would appreciate you calling my attention because I do make mistakes. Guaranteed yun, talaga magkakamali ako. Okay. All right. Okay, we're okay. Yan. So, na-download na natin yung stock prices natin. But out of bounds yung subscript ko. Okay, let me check. Okay, December 30. And there are 12 columns. Okay naman siya. Okay. Ay, may mRNA, wala. May mga missing values mRNA. Okay, siguro, kasi ang Moderna, European company to Italian in particular. So I'm not sure, maybe they got listed lang recently lang. So I think let's replace Moderna kasi may mga NA siya, no? Okay. So any other stock that you want included? Let's replace Moderna kasi hindi kompleto yung ano niya. Magkaka-problem tayo sa portfolio natin. Pfizer na lang. Ano ba Pfizer? Kindly check please. I'm sure Pfizer, is it PF?
PFE po.
PFE, okay. So let's replace it with Pfizer. Okay. So let me just run the stickers. And then let me run this again. May nag-error na naman. Subscript out of bounds. Okay, let's check. Yan. Bakit siya nagme-message ng ganun, no? Pero nagpiprint naman siya. Alright. Okay. Okay, Pfizer. Alright. Okay, that's good. So let's now go back to let me just close some of this. Okay, now that we have downloaded our stock prices, nakabila yan. Alright. So let's now, ano susunod na gagawin natin? We can get the returns, or let's first change the names. No? Call names natin. Yung names ng, ano natin, ng object ng portfolio prices. Kasi mahaba yung names niya. Call names ng portfolio prices. Let's just give it the names of our tickers. Okay, ito yung tickers natin. No? So it will change the column names of the portfolio prices from Apple adjusted to just Apple. Okay, let's run this. And then if we check the portfolio prices, okay, so pinalitan na yung column names siya. No? Ginawa na lang na, yan. Bakit piniprint na lahat? No? It's printing 12. Ibig sabihin, piniprint na sa lahat ng ano. Ba't kaya ganun? Nagpiprint sa inyo lahat ng ano? Print lahat ng did I press something? But ang daming ano. Nagdodoble siya. Okay. All right. So, compute natin yung ano, yung returns naman class. So how do we compute for the returns? We have learned this. We looked at two ways, di ba? Lagyan lang natin dito ng notes. It's always good to give notes. Change name. Okay. And then let's calculate daily log, aka continuous returns. Okay, let's calculate the returns and let's create an object called portfolio returns. Portfolio returns. Okay, we can use the ROC, rate of change from the from the TTR package, okay, technical trading in R, and then our object is portfolio prices, okay, and then here the default here, if you check the parameters, or if you check this function, the default is continuous. So even without typing even without including the type, it will return a continuous or log returns. But nevertheless, let me just type that continuous. Dami kong error sa pag-type. Okay, so, and then if we run this, we'll see that we have now the returns, portfolio here, portfolio returns. Okay. Now, sa inyo class, nag-missing value kasi naran ko na to kanina eh, no? So, if we want, I'm sure in your case, there will be yung first row will be missing value. So, to remove that, okay, we can include the na.omit para mawawala na yung missing value sa una. Or we can make use of, another way to do this is to use the na.omit also, to use the calculate returns from the portfolio analytics. Calculate returns. Huh? All right. Then, so portfolio prices, and then method. In this function, yung calculate that returns, ang default niya is discrete or simple returns. So we have to really specify na, I think log yata dito. Okay. So if we run this, and then na.omit then, okay, it will give us the same. No? Okay. Okay, chat, pause for a while. Kindly chat please if you were able to follow. Okay lang ba yung pace ko? Mabilis ba? Mabagal? Okay, thank you, Stephen. How about the others, please? Okay, good. Thank you. John, thank you. Manuel, thank you. Chantal, salamat. About the others, please? Feedback naman para alam ko. Okay, thank you, Lichly. Okay, good. All right, so thank you so much. Although I'm not getting 100% response from you, I hope the others are following along. Okay, so let's just quickly look at the output. So these are the portfolio returns. How was this generated? This was generated by the log of the price at time t divided by the price time t minus 1. So just a quick check. For example, for Apple, the log returns of Apple is equal to the log. Okay, in R, the ln makes use of the log function. Okay, if you want this to be the log as in base 10, you have to write comma 10. That means base 10. But log is base E. So the price at time t minus 1, control C, then divided by the price at time t. Okay? Which is just the same as log of 23.47 minus the log of 24.07. Okay, so that's your algebra. So negative 0.0253. Let's take a look at the portfolio returns. Negative 0.0253. Okay, the same. All right. So just to double check if indeed, but we're sure because actually we define the type to be continuous. But had we Let me remove this. I think I illustrated this to you before, but had we not used this, okay, and then just, okay, the returns will be same thing, 2537, right? 2537. Okay, let me just Control Z. I prefer writing it this way for completeness. Okay, so we have now 12 different stocks in our portfolio. We were able to compute already for their returns. Okay, last time what we did was to create a portfolio of equally weighted portfolio, which means if we are doing that here, we would have given weights of 1 over 12, 1 over 12 for each of these. Okay, but first, before we do that, we're going to, let's compute for the averages of this, of the returns and the standard deviation of the returns. Okay, so let's create this object called means. And good thing is there's a function called call column means. Okay, there's this function call means. Are there others? Okay, column means. So this is from base R, and it form row and column sums and means for numeric arrays. Okay, so this is call means. It will get the average of the vector that you're asking R to get the means. And we're going to input here portfolio returns. So what we want is for R to get the average return of Apple, of Microsoft for this period under consideration from January 2016 to December of 2022. So let's get the average. Okay. So you expect to have 12. Okay. So where is that? That should be a vector. Ito yung means natin, no? Means. So let's just take a look at means. Print natin si means. All right. So these are the averages. Average return, lahat positive, ano? Sayang. Sana wala tayong negative eh. Sana may negative returns tayo na asset eh. That would have been good kasi ipa-plot natin sa ano eh, yung means at saka yung standard deviations niya. Anyway, wala, no? No negative returns here, no negative average returns. And then let's do that for the standard deviation. So let's call it stdevs. Okay? And sa ano din, sa standard deviation, merong call stdev. Call, okay, underscore ba? Oops. Yan, okay. Hindi, wala underscore. Call stdevs. So this is from the time series package. And ilagay natin dito, no? Lagay natin dito, time series. Capital ano ba? Sorry. Okay, capital T. Time series. Time series. Call. Okay. Call standard deviations. Okay, even without loading the package, this will run. However, this time series actually comes with the F portfolio. So if you load F portfolio, this should be available also. So let me check. Kindly check, please, in your packages. Time series. Let's check time series. First, check if F portfolio is already loaded, and then let's check time series just to. Okay, there, time series. financial time series objects are metrics. It's already checked, which means even if I didn't include that in the packages a while ago, it will automatically load because when you load F portfolio, time series comes with it. Okay. All right, so where am I? Okay. Here. All right, so let's load portfolio returns. Okay, and then let's run this both. All right, so here you have a numeric vector, and these are the averages. No? Okay, let's check. Means, let's print means. Okay, 0.009564. Okay, 3 zeros and then 9564. Let's check by getting the mean of portfolio returns. Okay, $ Apple. Okay, let's get the mean of Apple. Let's check if they're the same. 0.00956449. Okay, perfect, exactly the same. Or we can get the about this one, standard deviation, stdevs, stdevs run 0.019. Let's try Microsoft. Okay, so for Microsoft SD, standard deviation of portfolio returns, in particular $MSFT, $MSFT, there, 0.01774, 0.01774. Okay, all right, good. Kindly chat, please, if you were able to get the means and the standard deviation objects. Waiting for the others. Okay, only 2 has replied so far. John. Okay, how about the others, class? Okay, good, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Let's give our classmates a few more seconds because not even half yata are able to follow. Any questions, class? No questions, sige. All right, let's plot first. Plot natin yung standard deviations natin at saka means natin. So let's plot on the on the x-axis. Let's plot the standard deviations as the devs. And on the y-axis, we have the means. Okay, and then let's give it a title. Main is equal to average returns and standard of assets in the portfolio. Yan na lang. No? Average returns. Okay, siguro dapat kasi title to i-capitalize natin. Standard deviations. Okay. All right. So let's run this. Ipa-plot natin sa x-axis yung standard deviations. Sa y-axis yung means. Okay. Laki ng title ko. All right, so these are the assets, no? Our 12 assets. And if you take a look, well, mahirap to kasi hindi natin alam kung anong asset to, no? But here you have this asset that displays yung very consistent with the principle of finance, diba? Yung the higher the risk, the higher is the required return. Ayan. So generally, ganun yung mga assets class. There are some exceptions like this one. Kaya ano kaya to? So ito, very small yung returns, pero relatively compared to the others, mataas yung risk. Diba? So, medyo hindi maganda, no? Kasi, kasi mataas yung risk, pero mababa lang yung returns niya. Okay, the others are, say, normal naman, no? This is an okay stock. Kasi, you have this risk, no? Even lower risk than this stock. Okay? Pero mas mataas yung returns niya. Okay, so kung kukunin natin yung Sharpe ratio ng class, this stock will have a bigger Sharpe ratio. Okay, so lagyan natin ng text para kasi hindi natin alam yung eh. Okay, there's this function in R. My text function, Okay, let's just copy text. Add text to a plot. Yan. So let's copy this. Let's be guided by the functionality of Control V. Alright, so ang X natin si stdevs. Ang Y natin is means. Okay, ang labels natin, ipa-label natin yung mga data points natin ng column names, no? Column names ng portfolio returns. Ayan. Okay? So what else? Ang ang POS, that's position, no? Anong sabi dito? POS, position specifier for the text. Okay, so ang mangyari dito, it will give your points, it will give it a text, and it will be based on the portfolio returns name, yung column names niya. Ang position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 is below, 2 is to the left, 3 is above, and 4 is to the right. So, sige, lagay natin dito na position is equal to, gawin natin above, sige, above 2. And then, meron ditong, yung offset? Position specified, this value controls the distance of the text label from the specified coordinate. Okay? So, yung distance ng text label dun sa point mismo. So, 0.5, okay lang yan. Okay, and then, what's vfront? Vfront is, okay, for the current font family. Okay, so let's not touch that. Hershey vector fonts. Hershey vector fonts. So, na natin baguhin yung font. And then CEX is expansion factor. Yields the final character size. Okay, so 1. So, yung usual size lang. And then color. Okay, color. Lagyan natin ng color yung natin red. Okay. And then what else? Okay, so maybe we can disregard this yung font. Okay, so let's see what will happen to this one. And then maybe we'll add, I did default dito sa portfolio prices. Meron siguro akong, baka meron akong ano, kasi every time I run a function, nagra-run yung ano eh, yung portfolio returns. Okay lang naman, wala namang ano. Okay, yan. Let's see this class. Now we know which point belongs to which. Okay, so Tesla to, no? Tesla. And NVIDIA. No? Okay, high returns, relatively, it outcompetes or hindi naman competitor si Tesla, pero it outperforms si Tesla based on the risk and return concept. Kasi mas mataas yung return siya and then mas mababa yung risk. So if you're going to compute for the Sharpe ratio, which is a measure of returns per unit risk, really NVIDIA is a lot higher in terms of the Sharpe ratio. Okay. Ang problematic dito si Citibank, di ba? Tingnan nyo. Citibank, letter C, mababa na yung returns, relatively mas mataas pa yung risk niya compared to Microsoft, right? Or McDonald's. Si Microsoft and Apple, lower returns, lower risk compared to Citibank. However, higher returns. Okay. All right. So, you can actually, kung may negative sana, no, pwede sana natin lagay yung ano. Okay, let me show that to you. You can also put here, so remember class, pag nagpa-plot ka, you can put text there. And then here, like, we can put also yung horizontal or vertical line. So you have here, AB line. So ano ilagay natin saan natin, sa line natin. Kung may negative sana, maganda kung nilagay natin h is equal to 0. Because it will draw a line dun sa horizontal. Sa x is equal to 0. Okay. Or y is equal to 0, sorry. Horizontal line siya. And then, LTY class means line type. Gusto ko yung dashed, kaya kabisado ko itong LTY na to, number 3. Dashed line yan. And maybe let's put a color. Color is equal to, yung line natin, gawin naman natin blue. Kasi red na yung mga ano natin eh. Red na yung mga letters natin. So let's run this. Oh, nag-run yung ano. Kaya, nag-run yung portfolio prices ko lagi pag nag-run ako ng isang function. Strange. Okay, anyway. So ito yung plot. Ito yung ano class, 0. No? So si Citibank, practically 0 eh. So that line, that blue line, yung L-type na yan, LTY is equal to 3. That's the dashed line. So, kasi kung 1, ano siya, yung solid line lang. So Citibank, practically 0 returns. And then, yung risk niya. So, if we're going to answer maybe the question, okay, so please, if I ask you, what's one way we can decide based on this returns as represented by the means and risk as represented by the standard deviation? What are the possible metrics? Kasi mahirap i-compare, di ba? For example, how will you compare which is better between Apple and Microsoft? Okay, si Apple kasi mas mataas yung returns, pero mas mataas yung risk din niya. Si Microsoft din ganun, no? Mas mababa yung returns, pero mas mababa yung ano, yung risk. Okay? What did you learn in your prior fin subjects. If you have the returns, if you have the risk, what are the metrics that we can use?
Sir, di pa from other fin subjects, pero from last session, yung
Mhm.
Jensen's
Ayan.
alpha.
Oh. Hindi nyo ba na-discuss ibang ano yan? Sa ibang
Ay,
subject?
di pa po.
Okay, sige. Now, you know, in Jensen's alpha, yung Sharpe ratio, di ba? Sharpe ratio is a measure of the excess returns per unit risk. Kasi we're dividing. There are other returns like yung simple lang din, yung coefficient of variation. Na-meet nyo na ba yan?
Yes,
Class?
sir.
Hindi pa?
Yes po.
Anong meaning ng coefficient of variation? Stephen, were you the one who answered? What's the meaning of coefficient of variation? And how do you compute for this? Anyone?
Sir,
Yeah.
parang parang standard deviation lang po. Pero relative
Standard deviation.
to
Okay.
like how spread out the data is po.
Okay. Or we're getting the riskiness of the asset per unit return. Okay. So the coefficient of variation is a measurement of risk as measured by the standard deviation divided by the returns. Okay. So we can say co-F natin, no? Gawa tayo ng object na co-F. Co-F and then var. Coefficient of variation. So it's simply your STDEVs divided by your risk. Divided by your means. That's your standard deviation, co-F bar. And there's also another one. No? Yung Sharpe ratio, let's call it Sharpe. Pero yung Sharpe kasi kailangan natin yung RF. Maybe we can define, for example lang RF natin, RF is 2%, 0.02. Okay? And then also kailangan natin, kasi daily to, no? Kailangan natin trade days, which is 252. All right. If I run this, yan, andito yung trade days natin. Weird talaga. Every time I run a function, nagra-run yung portfolio returns. Piniprint niya. I will have to check this later kung bakit siya nagdi-default na ganun. Piniprint niya eh. Napansin ko na kanina pa, no? Pero in the other class, this morning, wala namang ganun. So, I don't know why. Okay, anyway, let's, sana ako. So, coefficient of variation, and then Sharpe will be your means, okay, minus your RF divided by your trade days. You're converting the risk-free rate into daily, kasi means natin daily, and then divided by the STDEVs. Diba? Yun lang. Baliktad siya, no? See, coefficient of variation, you're measuring the risk per unit return. So let's run this first. Okay, nagdi-default siya sa portfolio risk. Okay, and then dito ko na lang ipiprint si coef var. Coef var, coefficient of variation. All right, we can see here that the best performing stock will be the lowest in terms of coef var. Kasi measurement ng risk to eh. Risk per unit return. So it means that this is the amount of risk the company is assuming per 1% return. Take a look at Citibank, 657. As expected, di ba? Ang baba ng returns niya, ang taas relative din ng risk niya. So per 1 unit of return, okay, you have 657 units, whatever that unit is, usually percent yan, for Citibank. So this is very high coefficient of variation. In terms of coefficient variation, the best performer is Microsoft. Okay, NVIDIA pala, ito, NVIDIA. So you're assuming let's say 18.84% of risk per 1% unit of returns. So all of these stocks have they're standardized to 1% unit of returns. So syempre, yung numerator natin, measurement ng risk yun. So we'd like to minimize the risk. Okay, so the worst performing stock in terms of coefficient of variation is Citibank. And then next is FedEx, and then Verizon, etc. The best performer is NVIDIA. Okay, then let's how about the other one? The Sharpe ratio. Tingnan natin. Tapos ipaprint na natin. Sharpe. Yan na naman siya. Okay. All right. So dito naman, class, it's a measurement of returns per unit risk. So here, ang hahanapin natin yung mas mataas. Excess returns to. Okay, so the best is, kunin na lang natin dito. Max na lang. Max ni Sharpe. Okay, max ni Sharpe is 0.05. So, sino yun? 0.05. Sort nga natin to. Sort, para mas mabilis. Alright. Sort. Ay, may negative pala, no? Negative pala yung returns niya, no? Citibank. Error, ano yung error? Descending. Alam ko, desking. Sort. Ala. Sort. Decreasing is equal to false. Okay. So, sort si Sharpe and then decreasing is equal to false, which means dapat decreasing. So, highest to lowest, no? Decreasing. Pag decreasing kasi, lowest, nalito na ako Decreasing means, pag false siya, so from highest to lowest, no? Tama, false. Ay, hindi, true. Decreasing, ibig siya highest to lowest. There, all right. So, si NVIDIA nga yung highest, no? And then Microsoft, and then Apple, McDonald's, si Citibank is negative. Buti lang na natin si Citibank. May negative returns tayo dito. Okay, so time na kagad, ang bilis. Ang bilis. Okay, very quickly lang class, malapit na mag-time. Let me see, ano pa yung, okay. Let's create now, kasi class, importante na, it's important that we look at the correlation of your stocks. So let's create an object called correlation matrix. So this will create a correlation matrix. And then the function is just core. Core lang yung function ito. So core, correlation ng portfolio returns natin. Okay? All right, then we run this. Okay, correlation matrix. Bakit every time na lumalabas yung portfolio So this is your correlation matrix. All right. So bawasan natin ng decimal, ang dami. Round ko lang. Round kahit 3 decimal places lang. Okay. There. So, you know that this is correlation matrix kasi yung diagonal siya 1, di ba? The correlation of the asset with itself is 1. And then you find here, some stocks are highly correlated. Si Microsoft, highly correlated with Apple. And that's a given. Kasi they belong to the same industry. They almost have the same market. Pero may mga stocks na ano na for example, si Shell 0.238 with Tesla. So interesting, no? Hindi correlated si oil with Tesla. Hindi rin correlated si oil with Verizon. Okay, si Shell is not also correlated with, this is understandable, no? Microsoft at saka Apple. No? So when you create portfolios, it's always good to consider yung correlation ng mga assets natin kasi it's not good to have in your portfolio highly correlated assets. Kasi pag downtrend yung economy class, malaki yung effect niyan sa portfolio. Okay? Now, we can actually plot. There's this function in chart dot here. Chart dot correlation. Dito, no? There. Chart dot correlation. Pwede natin magamit siya para makita natin yung relationship portfolio returns. Okay, I have just a few more minutes class, but if you need to go, you may do so. Ano ko lang to, i-wrap up ko lang to, no? Portfolio returns, and then i-plot lang natin si subset natin. Sige, i-plot natin let's see, let's take a look at Apple, yung dalawang correlated Apple and si Microsoft, MSFP. All right? And then, comma dito, no? Hindi, ito na pala yung comma, no? Mag-error tayo niyan. Portfolio returns, okay, chart correlation, silang dalawa lang. Sinubset lang natin si Apple at saka Microsoft. And if you plot this, okay, nag-error ako. Anong sabi niya? Length, month, year. Saan ako nagkamali dito? Chart correlation, portfolio returns. Ay, oo, tama. Ano yung sinasubset ko? Lahat ng rows kasama, no? All the rows, pero ang columns natin, Apple lang, tsaka Microsoft yan. Sorry about that. Nag-subset kasi ako eh. All the rows, but the columns are only Apple and Microsoft. Okay, this will run now. There. Have to find out what's all right. So you can see, class, this is a good way to chart your correlation. You have the individual distributions. They look like normally distributed naman yung returns natin. Tapos ito, no? In fact, you can create a regression. You can predict Apple returns given Microsoft returns or vice versa. Mataas kasi yung correlation na and statistically significant din. And let's replace this by Shell. Shell. Okay? Oops. Ano nangyari? Shell. All right. Let me run this. Yung dalawa lang. Okay, you can now see here. Okay. So 0.35 yung correlation niya. Weak. But others would call this moderately strong. Okay, statistically significant. Pero ang mababa dito, itong Nvidia and ito 0.076. Ano to? Si Citibank at saka Nvidia. Saan na yan? Ito pala. Verizon and Tesla. Let's see. Let's replace this by VZ, Verizon, and Tesla. Okay. Right? So we can see here that yan na naman yung portfolio returns ko. Okay. Practically no correlation, no? 0.076. Although it's statistically significant. Statistically significant pero 7% lang. So just like a horizontal line. All right. So let me end here, class. May assignment ako para sa inyo, no? Yung sa Excel. And also, please kindly go through the yung sa ano na sa portfolio optimization, kindly learn about what these functions are, add that constraints, okay, add that objectives, and then optimize opt that uh, I think optimize that portfolio and your portfolio that spec. Okay, so here are the functions that we'll be using next time. I might be I might be throwing in some questions about this sa quiz, ha? Kasi I'll require you to really look at this, look at examples on how to establish or create a portfolio in using R. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, class. Let me stop recording.